Welcome in, everyone. Orders up. We seem to have a tamping, raging, fuming baby girl. It's Connie. And it's that me, Espresso, your co-host, Phoebe. And later on in the episode, behind the night bar, 18 plus all through, but especially the later on in the episode, will be the spicier content. So please, if you are
under 18 or if you are related or work with Phoebe, get out of here.
Get out of here.
We're going to be talking about 18 plus related content throughout the podcast, but we try and leave the really gross, slimy stuff to the end.
Slutty stuff.
But we'll put timestamps throughout.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome to episode 5!
Yeah!
We did it, Phoebe. Yes. We recorded another podcast.
Oh my god, we're so good.
What was the last one? Was that 1st of January?
Yeah. We get sick. We got sick.
Oh my god.
These past few months. We got really sick.
I don't know how I already forgot about that. I was sick for like 3 months and then you were sick for like a month.
We could have filmed like 4 podcasts for the amount of times we were like, yeah, we're gonna film, and then we got sick, and then we were like, oh yeah, I'll film this weekend. Got sick.
So yeah, maybe this is our first podcast of the year.
Yes, because we filmed in December, and then I think we put it out after New Year's. Yeah, because we filmed New Year's Eve.
Oh,
because I was going out.
Yeah, I'm good. Yes. I'm glad.
I'm glad.
I'm glad.
Sad but glad.
Sad but glad.
Never sad but glad.
I'm always happy to be recording with my PB Phoebe. Both of us have blankets today. We both realised. Phoebe was like, I'm a little old lady that has a blanket. I was like, I got a blanket on my lap.
And then we just went.
Yeah, we both put it up to our mouths to look really mysterious. We'll try not to talk with them in front of them.
No. We'll be good. We'll be sensible. It's just silly time. Just silly time.
Sometimes you gotta be a bit comf. You gotta be a bit comfies.
A little bit comfy.
Yeah.
So, we got cream of content.
We got some cream of the crema content to be talking about.
That's what we're pouring today.
What do we even start with? Because we've got...
Final Fantasy.
All right.
It's been so...
We beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth this week. Technically, it was me that finished it because Phoebe did it like ages ago. It came out a year ago today. Did you know that? It took me a year to beat that video game.
God, being mother is so hard.
So we're probably just going to be so spoilery about the ending of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the second installment of Final Fantasy VII Remake. We'll put a timestamp if you want no spoilies, but let's get into it.
It was such a great time.
What the fuck is going on in that video game?
I know. I was like waiting for Connie to play it because I was like, I've got so much to talk about. Because it's nothing like the original. It is not the original game.
I'm like so surprised how much you kind of need to know about the original to fully appreciate this remake. Because it was because I didn't finish Final Fantasy VII Original. I got like a bit after Aerith dies, and then I kind of just stopped playing it. That was when I was like 15 or 14 or something. Whereas, yeah, you have played all of it fairly recently, like last year, the year before that. You completed Final Fantasy on PS1.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. It was like throughout COVID I started playing it.
Yeah, did you play it on Switch?
I did. Serious? I did play it on my Switch.
It was so good.
Because it had like better controls with it. You could like change the settings.
Yeah, the remaster ones are good. Remaster? Yeah, remaster. Yeah, so it was like quite beneficial playing it alongside you. I played the majority of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with Phoebe next to me. Because it was good. Because you would just like... A lot of that game has so many side quests that don't matter at all. And at one point, like, I just don't have the time to put into JRPGs anymore. But having Phoebe next to me be like, no, you need to do this side quest. You need to go do these things. Like, there was a part where I had walked and we were in this one area where there was like mushrooms or something, and the game was like, yeah, you got to go to the inn. So I was just gonna go straight to the inn, and Phoebe was like, wait, go talk to Zach's parents. Yeah, literally.
Down the way.
It's literally like, yeah, like I would have just missed like a good story about Zach's parents and Aerith and stuff.
Such a sweet like side story as well.
Yeah. Because it just got to a point where I was like, yeah, I can't be fucked to do these side quests. It's not like I like played all the side quests in the first installment of the remake.
Yeah,
but after like, I got time, and I heard so many people saying that like it pads the story unnecessarily, and then it becomes annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said similar things, so I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But
I mean, raking a chicken halfway across Gone Gaga is so important, integral to the storyline.
Yeah, I read a fanfic that was talking about that storyline, and I was like, that side quest, and I was like, I'm so glad I didn't do that side quest.
So glad.
Tell me about Vincent. But yeah, so I like was trying to read different people's opinions of what they think the ending of Final Fantasy Rebirth is. For people who don't know and they don't care too much about being spoiled, the ending of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it's like oh my god, what is that called? Marvel do it now. It's like
a
interdimensional. There's a word for it, and I can't remember it now.
Oh, I know.
But
exactly
basically,
Sephiroth
multiverse. Thank you. It's literally just a multiverse. Like, Max a Million. There's a streamer, and he's like a super mega fan of Final Fantasy VII, aren't we all? But he said his theory is that Crisis Core happens chronologically. Sephiroth then, at the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, knowing everything that happens in the original Final Fantasy VII, just goes, what if I do a fucky wucky? What if I do a cheeky little fucky wucky? And then
burn your bread.
And then like the whole plot just goes fucky wucky from there. And like there's certain points, especially in Final Fantasy VII Remake, where you could accidentally run into someone and it changed something, and then these magical white men in cloaks, or black, they're like black cloaks, aren't they, actually?
Yeah.
Just like stop Cloud from meeting someone or going a certain place. And it's so fucky wucky. Like the ending, so everyone knows that Aerith dies in Final Fantasy VII, and it's kind of, if you're playing Final Fantasy Rebirth, with the knowledge of knowing that, and you're like, well, obviously the game's going to end with Aerith dying. And then you kind of, it doesn't happen, but it does.
Because there's different shots of the scene happening all at once, where you see the knife clearly missing Aerith, because like Cloud smacks it away from her, and then there's another scene where it hits Aerith, so you're like, well, did it? Did it not?
Like if you're not paying attention, it's so confusing, because like there's like 3 different Aeriths. So I had read a thing, Phoebe, that the dogs are a clue on which universe it is. So in Final Fantasy, so in Final Fantasy Remake, obviously like the one that is our normal one, it's a beagle. In the weird,
you're so right.
I read that. I read like I can't remember whose article it was. It might have been like PC Games or something like that. But it was like, the dogs are an indication on which timeline you're on. Because you know when you do that like weird date with Aerith before she dies or doesn't die.
It's like a collie, like a fluffy dog.
Yeah, it's like a tiny little dog. And then the one with Biggs, when Biggs is still alive with Zack, it was a British bulldog or something.
Yeah.
So it's 3 different storylines. I didn't
think of that.
I'm so glad I broke your brain with a theory that wasn't even mine.
Oh my God.
But yeah, like you see Sephiroth like putting Masamune, whatever his sword's called, through Aerith. You see blood, and then it's like a, and then there's no blood.
Yeah. Blink.
And then you're like,
blink, blink.
Is she dead? Is she not dead? And it's just so much, because Holy in Aerith's headband, which stops a meteor from hitting Earth, gets used to become the black materia in the Rebirth storyline. But then you go and have the date with Aerith where everyone knows they're going to die, and then she gives you Holy. And and
it's like recharged almost.
It's just so confusing.
The one that Aerith has is dull and it's empty, and then all of a sudden, Aerith in this one, it's full.
Yeah.
And it's fine. So it's so confusing.
It's so confusing.
And it's like, I'm excited for the third game to see how it all ties up. But if it leaves you with more questions, I'm going to be so pissed off.
So it's going to be the last one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It should be.
I hope so.
Who knows?
I hope so.
Because I need it to finish.
Yeah, it was just... So I was fully expecting myself to cry at the ending of Final Fantasy Rebirth. Yeah. I think being in a call with you and you being in Silly Billy mode may have made it, like, a lot funner than me just being like... Because I was watching people's, like, different streamers' reactions to the ending of that, and they were all, like, sobbing throughout.
Yeah.
And I only, like, cried a little bit when I saw Red mourning. Nanaki was mourning with Tifa. And when the Promised Land themed played, because it was the same one that plays in Advent Children, and I was like, I fucking love that song. But Aerith dying didn't hit me at all. It doesn't help that I don't actually like the song that plays. That, like, new one they did that she's singing.
Like, I promise, like, we'll meet again or something. I was like, oh no. Play Aerith's theme. There's nothing wrong with her theme. Her theme is beautiful. I love that theme with all my heart. The fact that they've just kind of, they haven't ruined it, but they've replaced it almost with this sing-along.
Yeah.
I don't care about it.
But, I loved so much about Rebirth. Like, on the whole. Like, that whole section with the singing bit and, like, Cosmo Canyon and just all of it. It was just fun. It was a fun time.
It's just such a good time.
It was just quite padded.
Game. Yeah. It's a lot of filler. What I love about Final Fantasy, it is like Birth almost. It'll give you this, like, horrible section. They'll give you a really nice section, and you're like, oh, I don't remember what happened before. Kate Sith. You get a horrible section with Kate Sith, but then you get to meet Vincent, and I've just forgotten what I was so upset about 10 minutes ago.
Literally.
I don't know.
The game is Alzheimer's for having fun.
Yeah. I'm like,
literally.
Huh?
Oh, mate, yeah.
But generally, one of the best games I played last year.
Yeah. It's definitely the game I played the most last year, according to my PlayStation.
Yeah, it's all we ever grinded on. I was like, right, put up the game. We gotta play it.
No, I had a lot of fun. It was good.
It was great. I really enjoyed it. And, like, the Sephiroth fight.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the combat compared to the previous one. So me and Phoebe... Sometimes Phoebe would come over and I'd play it, and then a few times we'd, like, just did it on Discord and just and it would just be me going, I really enjoyed that fight scene. I really enjoyed that fight scene. But I feel like I'm probably not going to have that same from here on. I technically probably I won't remember any bosses or anything that I fought in the original, because I kind of stopped a little bit after Ares dies.
Yeah.
And that, like, feeling when... Is it called the Demon Door? I've already forgotten its name. That boss, the Demon Gate, the one that's a wall, seeing him come to life was like, oh my god. I was so stuck on him in the original Final Fantasy VII. I kind of want to look up his name just so I've got it right. Final Fantasy.
I think that was, like, everyone's fear going into that, was seeing him again, because there was no way they were not going to put him in the story.
Yeah, Demon Gate.
Demon Gate.
I was so stuck on him. I was so stuck on him.
He nearly made me quit Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. It's so
he
good.
was such a prick. But his fight was so much fun. I really enjoyed that fight.
I did enjoy that fight. It was one of the few instances, because I don't dislike, like, remasters and remakes of things. But you know when, like, you remember something when you were a kid and you haven't looked at it since you were a kid, and then you see a remake version of it and you're like, yeah, that's actually just how it looks in my head. I'm not even going to look at how it looked in the PS1, because in my brain, that's what it looks like now in Rebirth.
Yeah.
It was so good. I really enjoyed that.
Loved seeing how low poly it was, and then having it all just crisp and fresh in front of my face.
That fuck.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, he was a hard boss.
Genuinely one of the best boss fights. Sephiroth was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's mainly the most ones I can remember. Obviously, most of them were just people, like Rude, Reno. There are some others, but those two were just so much fun. I'm so glad they were, like, towards the end.
It's such a good game.
Yeah, it is. It was really fun.
now to wait 3 more years, wondering what the fuck we just watched. Yeah.
I gotta play some more Final Fantasies in between, I guess.
I still need to finish. I need to start 16, but I keep hearing not great things about 16.
I didn't hate 16. I actually quite enjoyed it.
You finish it?
I'm like almost finished with it. I'm like 80% of the way through.
So you're not finished.
Well, I've, you know, stuff came up. All right, Rebirth came up. So I was like,
Baldur's Gate came up.
And Baldur's Gate, yes, because I was like, I was gonna play Final Fantasy while Connie's gonna play Baldur's Gate, and then I went around Connie's, and then she started playing in front of me. And
I was like, you need to play this game, and then you were like, I
guess I should.
Yeah. Oh my word, we'll have a look.
Oh, we might as well have a look.
Of course, we'll have a look.
Oh, we might as well have a look. And then I ended up finishing that game as well.
Good. I didn't.
Yeah, someone has.
But I'm glad I finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think that's huge for me, and I definitely wouldn't have unless you kept like going, right, now it's time to play. But I need to figure out what I'm going to play now on Sundays.
I know. What are we going to do?
Technically, it's your turn. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, we haven't even finished Kingdom Hearts 1.
Oh, I meant Kingdom Hearts 1. But yeah, we'll eventually get to 3. Because 3's a bit dog shit. It's all leading up to 2.
It's all about 2.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We could pick it back up, because like the great thing about me and Connie is that like when someone is seriously struggling, we're not just like leaving it. Like we will just take the controller.
It's the best thing.
We're like, yeah.
We're each other's older brother.
Yeah, literally. We're like, we hate watching each other struggle, so we're just like, give me that. Oh, we're not offended. We're like, oh my fucking god. Thank God you took that off me.
Literally, I did that so many times in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I was like, no.
I want to do it.
It's time for Phoebe to play it.
I was like, come here, give it a because I could see you like losing interest. I was like,
yeah.
Let me watch.
That was me. Do you want to do one of mine or one of yours?
Let's do one of mine.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm to talk about Fourth Wing.
Please do.
Because the other one I don't have that much on. It was just something that I've been watching over passing. So, could you hear my cat?
Was that a cat?
Did you hear Gracie? That was Gracie hissing.
Why's she hissing? Is there another cat in the room?
Yeah, Buster.
Oh my god, drama alert live on the podcast.
I know! Live.
Gracie's so messy. Like, she knew you were recording as well.
Yeah, and that's like mother. That's like Buster's mum. Like, she just full on
She's just yelling at her son.
Do you want to leave me alone, like? Do you want to leave it? Do you want to chuck ice? Gooey.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Tell me about Fourth Wing, Phoebe.
My favourite war college.
Shut up. What?
My favourite little war college book.
I thought you meant like my favourite wall. My favourite war. My favourite war was going to college.
College.
That's such a summary of that fucking book.
It is. Is literally just Dragons War College.
It sounds like you're saying walk college.
Walk
college.
Apparently I can't pronunciate.
Sorry. Pronunciate,
no,
sorry.
Pronunciate. Say it right.
Yeah, I read...
yeah, because you read it first, but you dropped it.
I did. I got to...
Why?
I was like reading it and I was like, this is okay. And then it got up to the point where they eventually got together and had sex. And then I was like, I actually don't care about anything about this book. And then so I'm really intrigued on like your thoughts and how you think of the book. Because I think it'd be interesting if you liked it.
I actually really did like it.
Good.
I really enjoyed it. I love the aspect of the relationship. The only thing that really took me out of some of the moments was when the lead character, when she's scared or when she's like kind of like in the midst of doing something super dangerous, she'll start reciting shit. And it really takes out the moment. It's like, okay,
she's like a nerd, isn't she?
Yeah, she's like, they're called scribes, which is like just nerds in this war college.
So I think a few people who are listening to the podcast probably don't know what Fourth Wing is. Do you want to explain it to them?
Oh yeah, I forget. So Fourth Wing is a book And it's basically about a war college, and they have a few quadrants. So they have riders, who are the ones that are riding dragons. They are the fighters. We have scribes, who kind of take in like the history and
like
what's going
bookkeeping,
on.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of like note down of what's like happening. So say if there's like a war that's just finished, they'll write down everything that's happened. There's like medics, and there's another one I can't fucking remember.
Yeah.
But our main lead, what's it called? Violence. Then that's her little nickname. Violet Sorengale, who is daughter of a general who's really big in this war college. And then you find out at the start that her brother's passed away due to a rebel group that killed him, so she has like a bit of a vendetta. She gets forced into being a rider when she's supposed to be a scribe because her dad was a scribe and she was brought up her whole life reading and writing. And she is then thrown into many challenges to even get into the college where everyone's a fucking murderer, apparently. Everyone wants to kill and absolutely scold you left, right, and centre without challenges involved. And that's before you even get to see a dragon.
Yeah.
Before they can even get to you. Before the big beast gets to you. Like, it's basically you're surrounded by bullies who are old. Who are a lot older than you.
And Violet's, like, frail, isn't she? She's written, like, she's kind of nimble. Her bones break really easily. She has a thing where her hair's silver at the end.
Because, like, her mum's hair's silver, so it's, like, an iconic thing that...
Yeah, because her mum was poorly when she was pregnant with her or something. I can't remember.
Yeah. So, like, her bones are just baby powder at this fucking point. And I must say, I'm kind of... I don't know why they keep writing female leads so weak.
The first half, they're, like, weak. They gotta prove themselves.
And it's like, you can just be strong.
Yeah.
You can just be strong, and you can just get stronger. Like, that's fine also. But it's like, oh, you've gone from Feyre, who's an IBS girly, to now Violet,
from Agatha.
Yeah.
I'm curious on Throne of Glass? The other Agatha?
Tog. The whole Tog series.
She's just strong from the get-go, isn't she?
I hope
she's like an assassin, I think. I can't know. I don't know. I haven't read it.
I can't know. I can't know.
I can't know. They'll arrest me if I know. I can't know.
Listen, more information and I'll blow up.
Tell me. So, like, tell me what you like about the book and stuff. Because I'm worried if I start talking about it, you're just going to be like, yeah, you're right. I actually hate this book.
Yeah, I hate book.
I don't want to change your mind. Now. I want to hear your thoughts first.
So I'll get to know me. I was a girlie who really liked the Hunger Games. I love, like, series that have stuff with violence and love and trials and that kind of like, oh my god, are they gonna make it? I don't mind like death in my books. I prefer people dying in my books. Like, if everyone survives, I couldn't give a shit. I'm like, eye roll, people fucking live. Ugh, boring. Give me that upset. Like, I want like a trial, torment, tribulation. Give me all of that. So Fourth Wing's like kind of right up that alley because it is literally like it's a school that you have trials to see if you can even ride a dragon before you can get to one. So you get put through like 3 separate trials, and so many kids die at that point. So you get the parapet, which is the one that you get right at the start.
I had to Google image the parapet. I was
Me
like,
too.
I don't understand what I'm looking at, and it basically is just like I had to Google image a lot of stuff in this book because
me too.
I don't know if it's probably not the author's fault. I'm not very good at visualizing things. No, that's a lie. I am really good at visualizing things, but like the one at the end where loads of people died.
It didn't seem dangerous to me. That's what.
Yeah,
I think I had to Google because I was like, well, this doesn't sound too dangerous because it sounded like just a wall.
Just a wall. Yeah.
And I was like, well, how can this be dangerous? And then I Googled the parapet and it's fucking scary.
Yeah. And then there's the one where at the end it's like a thing you have to climb or shimmy up.
Yes.
Do you remember which one I'm on about? Yeah.
It's like total wipeout.
Yeah,
basically.
literally. You just got to do total wipeout before you get your fucking dragon. Yeah.
And then there's like you've got like a fighting mat where you have to do like once a week, and then you have to do like a history class. But everyone is just out to kill one another. Like literally, like that one day on the mat, one guy just snapped someone's neck just because they could.
Yeah, they kind of like paint it in such a way that like they try and eliminate the weak because then there's more dragons for them to possibly be imprinted by.
Yeah, basically, because basically nowadays, like, there's less and less dragons out there. And it's true, like, the more the less people, the more dragons can bond with you. So that gives you a higher chance, because it's not necessarily like a dragon would bond with you.
No.
They could see you and just set you on fire.
Which is what happens to a lot of the people.
Which is, happens
a lot of people.
Too much. A lot of people.
There's like, there's like a bit, isn't there, where it's like they just look at a dragon when they're like, don't look at the dragon, don't talk to the dragon, just keep walking, and then one of them's just like, I'm just gonna keep on yapping, and then look dead in the eyes of a dragon, and then they just turn into ash.
Yeah, they're like, the dragon's like, I'm gonna spit on you. You're fucking dead.
You're dead.
You're done.
You're done.
You're dead. And these dragons are surrounding them as they're walking, so they're just like,
yeah, some of the trials are really funny and silly.
Yeah, they're very goofy, but I just thought it was like really fun. Like, I like getting to know the characters. The Violet, one of her friends that she meets on the first day, Rhiannon, she's just such a cool.
I just remembered a bit with the guy. So when they do the parapet,
I think I say you hated her, and I was like, no,
she was fine.
She's such a sweetheart. I liked her.
She was fine. There's a guy and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do the dragon thing and I'm gonna propose to my girl and my parents are gonna be so proud of me. And I remember reading the book being like, this fucker dying. I even put it on like my Kindle thing. I was like, he will die. And then like a chapter, not even half a chapter, like 3 pages later, he just falls. I was like, yeah.
Slippy bitch. He's like,
yeah.
On the ground.
I personally, when I read Fourth Wing, like the more I digested it as well, I just found it so predictable personally.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It feels so predictable, like, and like, you know, the bully. Oh yeah, like he like off-screen dies in the first book. I don't even, he might turn up near the end of the book after I stopped reading, but I was like, he's so gonna come back like riding a griffin or something. Like, we're definitely going to see that guy again.
Dick at this point, because this man's egotistical.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
Like, there's like a scene where they're doing practice on the total wipeout thing, and there's a girl there, and she's been practicing since she was fucking born, apparently. Like, her dad made like a whole setup at her house to practice on. And then she's like, yeah, I'm not even worried, and she does it, and she's like flying colours. And then she fucking slips. She just slips, and it's like, oh, I couldn't have predicted that one. Like, it is very predictable, but it still doesn't miss on that charm for me, or I'm still just like, oh, it happened. Yippee.
Yeah, I went to Fourth Wing pretty much like after finishing the first after the second ACOTAR book, I then like went and started Fourth Wing for some reason. I can't remember why I did. And I just found so many similarities with ACOTAR. Like, who's the main guy? Who's the male lead in Fourth Wing?
Xaden Ryerson.
Xaden is literally just...
Xaden Ryerson.
He's just a crappy Rhysand from ACOTAR in my eyes. Like, I didn't find him charming or interesting at all. It was just like, sometimes enemy to lovers plotlines can just feel a bit annoying to me, and like I'm just like I don't really care about this guy at all. And like how they like had an attraction to each other, it just felt really like, yeah, they're attracted to each other now. They're on the booze, they're gonna have a little snuggle. Wait,
they don't love you like I love you.
Everything felt so like predictable, you know. It was like her older sister being like, you can't talk to this one guy, and then how they like try and do this love triangle, which is the most fucking lopsided triangle I've ever read in my whole life, because it was just
with like some of the worst person as well. It's like,
it was just so obvious that he wasn't final guy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like, there's a good way of making it seem like, oh, well, she might end up with the childhood best friend that sometimes is just a massive boffin and is like fucking Randall from Recess. He might, oh yeah, she might end up with him, or the mysterious guy who is like
trying to murder her
whose
every 2
dragon is
seconds.
mated to her dragon.
Yeah.
I found a lot of it predictable, and like the whole relationship with her mum, I was like, well, surely at some point she's gonna have to fight her mum or something. I don't know. Like, there's
mum.
like three, there's like three Fourth Wing books, isn't there?
Yeah, the recent Onyx Storms just come out.
Yeah.
So everyone told me like it's really good.
Oh,
so
really?
I'm
Okay.
currently on the second book.
How are you finding the second book?
It's okay. It's not bad. Like it's not my favorite. It definitely prefer Fourth Wing start to I forgot its name. It's like Flame something.
Onyx Storm.
No, that's third.
Oh.
Second one is I've forgotten it now. It's like
Windy
Flame.
Boy.
Wing Flame.
Wing.
It's just a lot of back and forth, but obviously I don't want to spoil it in case
I will not be reading it.
Okay,
Do not
so
worry.
yeah, they basically said like the love interest is obviously Violet and
Xaden.
Xaden Ryerson, who is like part of this like rebellion. If people didn't know, and then obviously Violet is part of like the team of like the military basically that battled with each other. So they kind of have like a hatred because like Violet's mum killed his dad, but then his dad kind of killed her brother, so it's very messy. We're very messy in this college, as you can tell. But end up falling in love regardless. But yeah, in the second book, obviously, Zeta's a third year, so he has to go off. And then she's still at the war college, but because the dragons are bonded,
they kind of have to like hang out, don't they?
They have to hang out like once a week. But they're making it very difficult for
them. And they can
because...
also like share minds.
Yes.
Right.
And they also have like lightning orgasms.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I didn't give a shit about that. When she because she like doesn't have any powers. When you mate to a dragon or whatever, it gives you powers. And everyone was getting their powers, and she was like, why don't I have powers? And then she jerks off and a lightning storm happens.
And then it's like, oh, my bedroom's wrecked. Guess we gotta be low-key next time. And it's like,
it was just it didn't feel like a good enough payoff, the romance side for me. And also like I don't read a lot of action-y stuff at all. I'm a romance girly through and through. But even like I think I remember reading about how people really didn't like the like how do I explain it? When it comes to like armies and quadrants and stuff, the whole core part of it is creating team building and trusting one another. But the whole beginning part of the college is about thinking everyone's going to kill you and how it's kind of counterproductive.
Yeah, there's no trust.
Yeah, I also saw there were some people that didn't like how they handle the main characters like chronic illness and stuff. But I want her to end up with the guy who's like carving stuff and is her bodyguard for a bit, because he was much more charming and likable than the other guy ever was, in my opinion. I was like, I want to read more about this guy. Does he die?
He died.
I had a feeling he would die. And
he died.
When did he die? In book 1?
Yeah, right towards the end.
Technically, he isn't dead because I didn't get to that bit.
Yeah, technically he's still alive in your book.
Yeah,
your version.
That felt predictable.
I loved him.
He was really just likable and nice, and he was quite charming, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and it's just...
he was. Not anymore.
No, not anymore.
Meow.
Does his dragon die?
Yeah.
Aww.
So he dies.
Aww.
Because like this, like the ending is like crazy in the last book because you realize like who you're fighting. Who the bad guys are, these like little griffins, which are just catbirds. Griffins are just these tiny little creatures, and they're somehow going up against dragons. So
I imagine
they're not the bad people.
Yeah, who'd have thought that?
Yeah,
Who'd have
who'd have thought
thunk?
that?
I imagined the Griffins looking like the one in Quest for Camelot. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
The cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a little guy and he goes, precisely.
Shee.
He's a dude. I like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're nothing like that. No,
Oh.
Connie. They're catbirds. No, I don't know. They could be like that. I don't know. In my head, they're not.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I am. I just want to reach Onyx Storm because I just want to see what that book is about because everyone said that's like the personal favorite.
Yeah,
So
because we have
I'm
a mutual
interested.
friend that really likes Fourth Wing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Bananas about it. So we're gonna have to get onto that because after I finish this book, I think I'm going to finish Akatar and then go back and do Onyx Storm.
Why did I think you had finished Akatar?
No, I've got another book to go. I've got one more. Actually,
So
technically, I've got
long.
2 more books to go.
They're so long.
I know. We got like a Christmas special book,
for that.
and then
Yeah, don't do the Christmas special. Do you always skip the Christmas specials?
Skip that. You always skip the Christmas
Yeah.
special. And then there's obviously the one where it's like kind of, I think it's third person or first person. No, it's third person, and it's about the
Kassan
romance
and
between
the
Cassian
Nesta.
and Nesta. Yeah, which I'm excited for because I really like those 2.
I don't. I actually don't.
Why?
Because she's a bitch. We can't just forget that she was a horrible person. Yeah, but I'm not a bitch like...
I'm joking.
I'm not a bitch to my Archer little sister who was putting food on the table.
True, but she's just serving cunt. She's a bimbo. Leave her be. There's probably a reason, so I'm gonna read the book, alright? Don't roll your eyes at me, bitch.
So,
speaking, bitch.
I won't hesitate.
Hey, bitch.
Yeah, so speaking of books, I've been reading
Nice
The Serpent and the Wings of Night.
How is it?
I actually am quite enjoying it. I'm quite enjoying it, and reading it, I found a lot of things. It made me realize things that bothered me about Fourth Wing. In how, like, so do you want me to tell you the premise? I won't, like, because I know you plan on reading it, don't you? So I won't go into
I'll forget
spoil.
About it. Don't worry about me.
You will.
I always, literally, people are so worried about like spoiling stuff for me. I'll forget. I will forget about it. She will.
She will. It is about a girl who gets adopted by like a vampire who he's like kind of like the king of the vampires. There's always like a tournament, and then whoever wins the tournament is like the next vampire prime minister. So it happens every 200 years. Yeah, so she got adopted by Tony Blair vampire, but he's like, he like finds her in some like rubble in an enemy territory, and she's like feisty, and he's like, good, you're feisty, you need that to live amongst vampires, blah blah blah. So then he takes her away from this enemy territory where humans lived, and then she has spent her whole, like from when she was 4 till she's now 20 something, I can't remember what she is, till now, just being surrounded by vampires and just assuming everyone wants to kill her and drink her blood all the time. So she's like actually a strong character that has a fragility about her because she is a human. There's a lot of parts written about her where she'll quite often like go to the slums of this like vampire kingdom where there's a few little human like people in poverty, and she'll try and kill vampires that are trying to prey upon the weak humans. And the way they write the struggle of how she has to like push extra hard to try and get through like a vampire's chest to like kill them and stuff, like there's just certain things that I really enjoy about like how she's not like, she is weak because she's a human, but like she's not powerless. Do you know what I mean? Because like her dad has been training her forever to be like, you will always be on edge, always expect, no, don't trust any vampire in the whole fucking world apart from your daddy. That's what he's saying. And then, so yeah, the like tournament thing happens every 200 years, and then it's coming up to the next tournament. So the plan is that, I can't even remember the main character's name, but they want her, girl.
Girl.
They want her, like, they're planning on her doing the tournament, and then her wish, because you can, like, grant a wish to some, like, god at the end. Her wish is like, I want to be vampire, and then, like, merge powers with her dad. But, like, so then they have, like, she enters this tournament, and there's an enemy nation that are also in the tournament, and there's a guy, and he's got long hair. And he's a vampire. She's like the only human. She's like the only human that's entered this like tournament.
Like, ever?
Maybe ever, because it's been going for like thousands of years, but she's the only one this time, and like a lot of people don't even like talk to humans or see humans, they just see them as food. So they can't like handle being around her. The like relationship with her dad is really interesting, because like there's that sort of turmoil where she feels like she's guarded all the time and she needs to have like a front, but she has like a softness for her dad. But I'm kind of like, is her dad gonna turn on her at some point?
Yeah.
Is he actually... I do feel like he does actually love her and stuff, but is there like other motives going on? There's like different relationships and stuff in this book that I find myself not being able to predict what's going to happen. Whereas with Fourth Wing, I very much was like, yeah, obviously this is going to happen. Yeah, okay, sure, that's what's going to happen here. Like, there's like certain elements, you know, like, oh, there's an enemy nation and they're bad, and loads of people pray to this one vampire goddess, but there's another nation that pray to a different vampire god, and you're like, oh, but we pray to the vampire goddess, but that means, like, you know, you can always just kind of predict, like, oh, well, it's probably going to come out that the vampire goddess that we pray to is bad. But
evil.
I look forward to you reading it, but I think
I'm
like notes.
really excited.
I can't remember where I wrote my notes.
It's on my next list, because I'm also reading a vampire book as well as reading Wing of Fire, whatever the book I've got going, because mine was called Tethered, and it's not the same plot, but it's like human vampire, where the human girl is in like one section of like a country, and then there's like a vampire section, and they're kind of going at war with other countries, so they kind of need to make an alliance. So there is this girl called Luna, and she is born on a day where there's like a moon. like a moon thing happens. So then they're like, oh my god, we gotta call her Luna. I was like, oh, fantastic. So it's like a few chapters in on that, but I'm excited because I haven't read like a vampire book in so long, so I'm really hyped.
I'm excited
to read these two.
That's good. Yeah, I'm not finished the Serpent book. I can never remember the name of it. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I've not finished it. I think I'm like 60% of the way through. I enjoy it.
You enjoying it so far?
The last vampire book I read was... Oh, it wasn't Twilight. It wasn't Twilight, but it was like that era of book where loads of people were doing werewolves and vampires and shit. So like, well, actually, that's not true either. I've been reading, I've been listening to Bram Stoker's Dracula, but we could talk about that when we talk about Nosferatu.
Oh.
I have you.
Oh.
So you've been doing a listen.
Is that on Audible?
Yeah, it's narrated by loads of people, like Alan Cummings. And Tim Curry.
No.
Tim Curry voices Van Helsing. I recommend it.
Let's go. I got my credits back from that Audible book we were listening to.
That must be nice.
Did you not get it back?
I don't even know if I actually paid for it or not. I'm not sure.
I use a credit.
Oh, I didn't use credit. I just bought it with 20 quid of my own fucking money.
Oh, babe, no. I got a subscription because I was like, well, I can get like a free book once a month with a subscription, which I'm technically buying, but I can have like any book. So it makes sense in my head. So I got a refund for it and used it for something else.
Good. That's good. I'm glad.
That's good to know.
Do you want to... You said you we're only watching it in passing, but do you have anything to talk about with more than a married couple but not lovers? I saw this on Crunchyroll and I was contemplating on starting it.
It's actually good. I would recommend watching it.
What would you compare it to?
What would I compare it to? Nothing really.
Okay.
It's kind of got its own, like, well, I'll describe the premise and you find something, because I actually don't think it's anything really like I've seen. So it's kind of the trope wise is she's hot and popular, he's a nerd.
Are they high schoolers?
But he isn't ugly. Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a few things, but I can't off the top of my head. But they're in this lesson where they have to be a married couple. So they get put into these flats. They have separate rooms, but they have a meter and it goes up depending on how well they are together. So he's in love with a girl in like his like childhood best friend, and then she's in love with this other guy. But the people they're in love with are also a married couple that they've been put together. So they've come up with a plan that they're going to get like a really high score, because if you get the highest score, you can then stop the marriage and then pick whoever you want because you've kind of completed it. So their game plan is to do that. And it kind of gets interrupted because they start kind of falling for one another. And it's quite cute.
That sounds a lot like Toradora.
You're right. It fucking is. Damn it. That's like a really good popular
or
one.
Scum's Wish. I never watched Scum's Wish, but the premise for that is a bit similar, but it's a lot more gritty and...
I think because I keep thinking of it as like a marriage, I'm like, well, it doesn't seem like anything else. But I guess the premise of they're kind of like opposite ends of the spectrum, but they're also friends. But you kind of see their like love blossom, but they're just not quite telling one another. It's really sweet. I recommend it. It's very cute.
Maybe I will. I've been kind of watching one that's like the polar opposite to that.
Really?
But it's a romance. Have you heard of Yakuza Fiancé?
Yes, it's on my watch list.
Tengen, I'm not even going to try and remember what the name after it is. That is an anime. Good? That is an anime. It is good. It's good, like... Oh. It's batshit, though. That's the only way I can describe it. Batshit.
I like it.
I like batshit. It's about two people from two different Yakuza factions getting betrothed to one another. And the girl lives in, like, the countryside. So she has, like, a Kantai accent, and she's a bit rough around the edges. Whereas he lives in Kyoto? In the city, anyway. And so she moves over there. Her granddad, who is like the head of a certain Yakuza faction, he's like, just go there for like a year and see, like, just for a little bit, get a vibe, and if you don't, then you can just come back. And she's like, sure, yeah. And she like chats to the guy. He's like kind of cool and a bit, you know, pretty looking, and he's popular in the same school that they go to. And he's popular. And then there's like an instance where there's these like small little slivers of the guy being a little bit weird all of a sudden. And she's like, did I imagine that? He's like, he just seems like such a nice guy. This is so weird. And then she accidentally walks off for a moment when they're in the city, and these guys like try and grab her and take her into the alleyway. And he comes and he like beats the absolute shit out of them. And he's like proper like bloody knuckles and everything. And she's like, you can stop that now. This is weird. And he's like, do you know what? You're actually so fucking boring. He was like, I was hoping because you were a Yakuza like granddaughter that you'd be like a prim princess and I could maybe just get off of you being like, you know, elitist towards me, but you're so fucking boring that maybe I should just sell your body and make money from you that way because you have quite a nice body and you're just useless to me otherwise. And she's like, what the fuck? She's like, huh? Wait.
Plink, plink.
Plink. So then some time passes. He hasn't seen her for a bit, and he's like, I guess she just moved back to where her home was. And there's like a scene where she's on the phone to her granddad, and she's just like, I fucking hate it here. This is weird. Everything about this is weird. And he's like, be there for a year. make him fall in love with you, and then fucking break his heart. And she's like,
Granddad. My granddad would totally go fishing.
So she's like not around for ages for school, and he's like, I guess she moved away, whatever. She comes to his classroom because they have different classes, I think, and she like puts a load of money on the table, and he's like, what is that? And she's like, you said I should sell my body, right? I got my kidney removed and sold it. There's the money. You can go fuck yourself. And like people are like trying to bully her as well, because like they're like, oh, why are you talking to the beautiful guy? Oh, we're gonna put like, I don't know, dirt in your locker. And she's like, if anyone wants to fucking mess with me, you want to fucking come at me. And she does the proper thing, you know, when they like roll their R's and they're like, hurrah, like that sort of thing. It's so good. And then he like is like, I'm in love with you. He's like, that's the first time I felt anything in years. I'm in love with you. I'm obsessed with you. And then that's the first episode. That's the first episode.
Oh,
it's
my
so
God.
It's such a batshit anime. They're both so toxic, and like a lot of people had a lot of problem with this anime because the main guy, he like sleeps around. He doesn't see like sex as something that it's just something that happens. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't like see it as like a romantic thing. He's just like, I just fuck women, and that's that. So a lot of people had like an issue with that, but she's kind of just like, I don't even want to be with you, and he's like, no, you will marry me, and he's like, it's just really it's just really fresh and interesting, and they're just both so batshit, and it's so unpredictable, and the art style's really nice. I like it. It kind of like reminds me of like Naughty's anime, like 2000s.
Do you know, I've had it on my list for so long, and I've been meaning
I've been meaning to talk to you about it, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait until we do the podcast, because I've been really enjoying it. I finished it. It's only got 12 or 13 episodes, so I finished the anime. I read like the first thing of the manga, and I was like, ooh, this manga's really good. And then I forgot to read any more, and then the anime came out, and I was like, yes.
Because it came out, and I was like, okay, this is up my alley, because obviously we all know about what was that other Yakuza one where he was a Yakuza and now he's like a housewife?
Yeah, the Yakuza house husband.
Yeah, everyone was so hyped to see that, and then it was just sadly disappointing.
Yeah,
it was so upsetting. Sorry, Gracie really wants to put her tail in front of the camera.
It's nice. I like it.
It's her time. It's Gracie's time.
She's like, talk about me.
It's really distracting. Just get tail.
Yeah, so like another good thing about this anime is like what a lot of animes will do if it's like about Yakuza is it will like tone it down and be like, no, they're just like ditzy little boys that like just do funny things. Like this really does feel like it reminds me of like the video game Yakuza, like a dragon sort of thing. Like it's nitty gritty, and like, you know, you can get your head caved in for all sorts of things. It feels like I can't say realistic representation because I don't know how the Yakuza goes in and out, but you know how like a lot of anime are like trying to downplay.
We're not the Yakuza.
Yeah, PSA. They like try and downplay the Yakuza a lot in like animes to do with it, whereas this one feels like quite authentic, you know, like they're beating the shit out of each other, and everyone's kind of like, there's like, what's the word, like turf disagreements and stuff like that. I really like it.
I'm excited to bump it up now. Let's go. I've been meaning to. I was like, kind of need to like add something new after this one I'm going to be finishing. So I think that one's up next on my list.
I'm glad. Good.
That's pretty excellent.
Good. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go to what did we call the bit where we start talking about more smut?
I think it's crema content.
No, crema content's what we just did.
No, Smutiato.
Smutiato. So we're going to be talking about more hardcore stuff, proper 18 plus. If there's any tags that we have missed or like content warnings and stuff, it'll be in the description if you want to see. The tags I'm thinking of that I'll be talking about in this section will be dubious consent.
all I've really I don't know mine, so I'll put mine in afterwards.
Cool. Yeah. I want to talk about a anime, not anime, like a one-shot manga hentai thing that I came across. But also, we were going to talk about the Nosferatu movie. Which one do you want to do first?
Let's do your one shot, because we can do Nosferatu together.
Cool. Yeah. So you know, like how in Instagram you get adverts. Do you ever get them, like the adverts for like webtoons on Instagram adverts? Yes. I got one, and I really liked the art for it, and it was one of this like guy. This woman's crouching, and then a guy's like, "Did you come just from smelling me?" And I was like, "What's going on here?" And I read quite a lot of like random, fucked up, stupid stuff. But I clicked on this being like, oh, this just looks silly Billy. But I like the way the bloke was drawn, because he had like fangs and stuff. And I was like, ooh, fangs, yeah, I like fangs. I might need to like reread my note. Did I write notes about it just so I can make sure I don't miss anything? Oh no, I actually didn't write any notes about it. I got like so it's one of those things where you click on the ad and then it's like, oh, you can see the first section of it, but then you got to pay for it, and then I have my ways, and then I read it. It's a one shot, and it is about a girl who, she's a hacker. It's about a girl who hates how like short she is. She's always been super short, but a guy that she's known since high school has always been super tall. Like it like shows her height from like, you know, when you're in the train and then there's those things that people hold on to? Yeah. Like her her childhood friend can hold it and she can't even touch it. She's so itty bitty. And she has like, she feels self-conscious about how tiny she is. And like people at work are always like, oh, but you're just so cute and ditzy. And she's like, oh, I hate that. Why are they always doing that? And then it cuts to like, oh, but lately I've been going to my childhood best friend's house. His name's Shee. So the thing I'm talking about is called A Wolf in Shee's Clothing. His name is Shee, Shee. And he's like, yeah, I can help you with that. Like, and she's like, thank you so much. And she's got like a mug, and it's her sipping the mug. And then it cuts to them having sex. And the way it's drawn, I should have got a screenshot and sent it to you, Phoebe. The way it's drawn is like, she is goodly shaped. She's shaped good. Let me see if I can find it. Wolf.
She's shaped like a well-built house.
She's shaped like a brick house. Trying to type in A Wolf in Shee's Clothing obviously just gets me a load of fucking sheep, which is good.
Nah.
Oh man.
I love you.
But basically she's like got good she's got a good curvy body on her. Like imagine like Beastly Boss Is My Neighbor, but beautifuler. More curvy and cute.
Curvy.
Yeah. And it like I can't even bloody see anything now. So it cuts to them like he's like fingering her or something, and they're just having relations. Oh. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it cuts to her back in her work, and she's like, yeah, I've kind of been really appreciating him helping me out. I feel like, you know, I feel less self-conscious about my height. I haven't really been thinking about it too much, but I still go and visit him and have like, you know, a cup of tea with him and stuff. And then
cup of tea and a finger.
And then someone says something like, oh, but you know, you are so cute. And then she gets like, you're so cute and short. And then she gets aroused by it. And she comes and she's like, why did I just come to someone calling me short? And she's like, come to think of it. What happens when I go over to Shee's house? What happens? And I was like, huh? And it like reveals itself that he's drugging her in the tea. She doesn't remember anything. And then he just starts like just sexually initiating stuff with her. But it's like one of those dubious consent things that she's like, yeah, this is great when it's happening. But the way that the manga was showing the turn of events, I was like, it was like a slap in the face. I was like, what? Huh? But he, like, the...
she's penis apparently. What?
So then it just turns into this, like, yandere fuck-up thing where he like just then sort of is like,
What?
no, I'll just keep you in my house. I've loved you forever. And it was just so shocking, but it's drawn so beautifully, and I just felt so betrayed because I wasn't expecting it at all. Like, so many times, like, Instagram will just recommend me things that are like, just like, they're just friends, and they love each other. And the art was like so pretty. So I was like, yeah, this is it. Huh?
Blink, blink.
But I've like reread it like twice because I was like, it's just so. How does it do it?
Yeah, how? What magic?
How?
You sip your tea like, oh no,
that's terrible.
No.
But yeah, the guys.
Say, Facebook and Instagram really like sends the most strangest adverts. Have you seen the ones where it's like the Alpha and Omega, but they're like real people, and they're like it's based off webtoons. And it's like real actors acting
like
out.
TikTok, yeah. And they're like, you will never be a true blue moon Omega.
I'm gonna kill you if I see you again. And they're like in the showers all naked, and it's like, get out of the fucking shower.
I found it. I don't know how to show it you without it not showing on the podcast. Let me just send you a Snapchat of it.
Yeah. Hold on, this is the part where me and Connie just
Right, I'll show you the cover of what the guy looks like, and then I'll show you. Oh my god, it's all zoomed out. No, it's zoomed in and it's zoomed out.
Oh.
Let me show you the woman's body.
Whoa. He's pretty.
Live reaction to the body. But it's like proper yandere, and he's, it's crazy. But it is just pretty much porn.
What's it called again? Shee?
I'll send it you. It's called A Wolf in Shee's Clothing.
That is such a creative title. I love it.
Yeah, right?
They were like, Shee.
Sheesh. Yeah, speaking of non-consensual, me and Phoebe watched Nosferatu.
But like the way we watched Nosferatu was incredible because
it was so good.
We were both texting on the bus, so I had time to kill because I was getting picked up when I was going out. So I had like 3 hours to kill, because I had just got tired in the morning. So I was like, what do I do? What am I gonna do? And then I saw Nosferatu was gonna play in like 20 minutes, and I was like, I've never been to the cinema by myself. Like, is that acceptable? Can I go as a woman? Can I go into the cinema by do I need to be accosted by a man or something? I was like holding up my arm like this, like hoping someone would grab hold of it and take me inside. And I was like, no, I'll go, because like I thought you had already seen it, or you were going to see it anyway. So I was like, right, I'll just go by myself. Watched it, loved it. Text Connie on the bus, and she was like, I was so scared to tell her. I was like, how do I tell her I've watched it? And then she said, I'm gonna go see Nosferatu with my brother later. And I was like, I've just seen it. It's so good.
It's so worked out. We were both on the bus at the exact same time.
Wow, literally, like I was like going back home as like she was like going back out.
With those like, two men on the bus waving at each other.
When you see a cow.
So funny.
But the film I loved it.
We've been trying so hard not to talk about it to each other, haven't we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like wrote down my thoughts, and I'm glad I did because I can't remember half of it. So me and my younger brother went to watch it, and it was one of those things where we were like, it was an empty cinema for like until 5 minutes after.
Let me click that. I hope that doesn't mess up your recording.
No, that's fine.
Oh my god,
it's all good. Yeah,
you know what? I had like a beefy cough. I was like,
beef.
Beef.
Yeah, it was just like we were in an empty cinema, and then we just kept seeing more and more people like flood in, and we were like, yeah, they look like they're gonna fucking see Nosferatu. Yeah, and then we were like, wait a minute, looking in the mirror, like, no, we look like we're gonna go see Nosferatu.
No, it's hard.
We had like a bunch of Gen Zs come in, and they might have been Gen X actually. The first thing I heard them say was "skibbity toilet."
Oh.
Me and Ebby like folded. We were like, we couldn't hear anything. We just heard like skibbity toilet.
Toilet.
Huh?
Huh?
What's happening?
You go down there and like check their IDs. Sorry,
did
sir.
You watch it in a Cineworld?
Yes, I saw it.
Did you watch the beginning adverts?
Mm-hmm. I had to.
Did you watch the drink driving advert?
there was a drink. Oh, I didn't have the drink driving.
We
advert.
had a drink driving advert, and it was one of the best things that we saw. It was nearly better than Nosferatu. It's about like a mum, and she's like, make sure you don't go and drink. Yeah.
The sun, yes.
And it's like,
don't drink.
Yeah, she's like, oh, make sure you don't drink tonight if you're gonna go drive. And you're like, well, I guess he's fucking dying in this drink driving advert. And then the mum dies from a drink driver. And me and Ebby were like, it was crazy.
And the guy who killed her was a drunk driver because his mum didn't tell him every day, don't drink and drive.
Yeah, it was really good.
I did remember that because I was like, I ordered me glass in the cinema. I was like,
yeah. I think when that came on, it was only me and Ebby in the cinema. So we were just like,
yeah,
no one's here to gasp with us. Yeah, it's so funny.
So funny walking into the cinema because it was 20 minutes before Nosferatu had started, but it was like really cold, so I was like, oh well, I'm gonna go sit down. And as I was getting the ticket, I was like, I'm really hungry, I want some snacks. And then the guy was like, oh well, there's a deal on right now because only children come in at this time. And I was like, oi, right, pack it in.
Oi.
And he was like, you can get like a child's like lunchbox thing and like a drink for like well cheap. And I was like, okay, sure. So I was like walking into Nosferatu with my little lunchbox and my little juice. And then there's just this man, and he's like 20 minutes early for the cinema. So I'm just stood there looking at him with my little juice, and he's looking at me, and I'm like...
And he looks at me,
yeah, and I look at him. And I was like, I'm just going to take a seat. And I sit down, and obviously, like, the shows were playing. Did you see the one with the wolf dad?
Yeah.
Going through the cat flap?
Yeah.
I was crying.
That one actually was. I was like, "Whoa, that could be us."
That could be. I said,
that could be any of us. Get bit by a werewolf. I actually thought that was quite interesting because my younger brother was like, "That looks shit," and I was like, "Actually, it's kind of like an interesting premise that the whole movie. We're not even talking about Nosferatu. This is so funny. Like the whole point of like the whole movie is about a guy turning into a werewolf. I think that's just quite fresh and interesting.
Yeah, I know. I've never seen that before. But the cat flap.
That thing's real. That thing lives on Earth. Yeah, the stupid monkey Stephen King trailer as well.
Yeah, I hated that. I was like,
stupid monkey.
I liked the one which I actually really want to go see with you. It's a horror film, and it's got who's it got? I forgot. We were talking about it literally afterwards because we were both saying how we really liked the trailer.
Oh, yeah. Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
Don't watch any other trailers other than that one that came on in the cinema.
No,
so
I haven't.
A fucking another one came on like recently, and it basically just told the whole fucking premise of the film. I was so annoyed. Yeah. Because the trailer, the one that plays, I can't remember what that movie's called, but the one that plays, like, it's just so vague and you have no idea what the sort of movie it is, which is a perfect trailer.
It looks so good.
Yeah, and then I saw another one and it just told the whole plot, and I was like, but the clipping song plays, so that's good.
The clipping
it's my
song.
Favorite. I love that clipping song too. It's my fave.
Such a good one.
Yeah. Anyway, Nosferatu.
Yes, Nosferatu.
So we're gonna be talking spoileries about Nosferatu.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Let's get going if you don't want spoilers.
What the fuck? I love that film.
So I want to hear your thoughts first.
So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. I was really scared. When like just the whole plot of him like just being so obsessed with you, and like the one thing that did put me out of it was the traveling section, because the time of everything just didn't fit in well, and it did make my head scratch because I was like, he's on a boat right now going from this section to this section when he could have probably
Transylvania to Germany. Yeah.
Like
dude, you know, like Santa's little helper in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Apparently someone was like, to the guy who got out a European map while I was watching Nosferatu, could you not have done that after? And I'm like, no, he had grounds to look up a map.
Yeah,
the reason that happens is because Nosferatu is plagiarized from Bram Stoker, isn't it? So
yeah.
Obviously he was like, we'll just change a few little things that happens, and then they had it set in Germany instead of England. So it made more sense to go from Transylvania on a boat to England rather than Transylvania to Germany on a boat. But like some people were like, well, the reason he does that is because it's the only way to transport the coffin in that time period because it's so heavy.
A cart could have done that. There's a fucking massive cart there that just turns up randomly. Could he not have just used his hocus pocus powers on that?
Apparently not.
No. Apparently it's just there to scare Thomas.
Are you attracted to Nosferatu?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, weirdly.
I am a monster fucker at heart, but I felt nothing. I could not tell
you. I felt everything.
I'm so happy for you.
I know.
The back of his head was like...
Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Don't turn around.
Don't look at it. Yeah. Shh. I think it was the scene at the end that really had my heart thump when they're like engrossed with one another and they're dying.
I kind of liked the detail that they just kept like eating hair instead of on the neck. They did it on the middle of the chest. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, oh, crispy out.
You must bounce on it.
Bounce on it. Crazy style. I think it was so weird because the actual... Is it Bill Skarsgård?
I think it is Bill Skarsgård.
So I've never found him... Well, he's an attractive man, but I've never personally found him. But after that film, I was like, okay, I see it. I get it.
That's interesting.
And I think knowing that he's underneath that, I was like, I get it. I sees it.
Yeah.
And then seeing his penis on that little thing on the cutout, because obviously they had to do makeup for his body. And then I think it's Nicholas... Is it his name Nicholas Hoult?
I think so.
He's got like a picture and he's just holding it. It makes me giggle.
It is good.
Love that.
Good soup.
But I liked it. I thought it was... I love that scene. And when he's just like, he just keeps coming up and he's like, yeah, I'm going to give you like 3 days, mate. And then I'm going to be back and you're going to be mine. Oh, all your friends? Yeah, they're going to fucking die because of you. Just
yeah.
Let you know.
Yeah, like the whole bewitching stuff was really interesting. Like it was so beautifully cinematic and gothic as well. Yeah. As a movie, it was just a treat to watch at the cinema. It's been so long since I watched a good movie. Because like the last movie I saw before that was Deadpool versus Wolverine.
What
Not
a
what
misery.
You want. Yeah. Oh, the misery.
The misery.
Yeah,
Everybody hates the enemy.
Yeah, so I heard you told me there was a baby death.
Yes.
And I was like, I'll probably be alright. I was like, the kids are kind of a little bit annoying, I'll be alright. And then it got closer and closer, and I was like, baby, when does the baby die? When did the kid die?
This section.
That like bit kind of like pissed me off about how like it took the mum so long to go get the kids. Because if you don't know Nosferatu, he starts killing everyone, and he kills like the main woman's childhood best friend's kids, and then she kills them.
Babies.
Yeah, a lot of people like had an issue as well with Aaron Taylor-Johnson's character, and how like people didn't like him, and they thought that he only saw his wife as like a baby making machine because of like lines he said. I was like, you could tell he clearly adored her. Like he just didn't like him. He didn't like those people that were just coming in and just making everything ruined.
Things up.
Yeah,
like, he had a business. He was a businessman. He loved his wife. Had a business.
Because like, yeah, I saw it really pissed me off. I saw something like a TikTok, and it was like, yeah, because even when she's dead, he's shagging her, because there's a baby inside her, and he's trying to get. I'm like, no, mate, you're just looking in a mirror. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with you.
Touch a CV.
Touch a CV.
Yeah.
Unemployed. What does this mean?
Yeah. Couldn't tell you. But it's like he just wants to be he's so devastated that he just really wants to be close to his wife. Like it's nothing
He
weird.
literally lost everyone. Did he die in the end? Or did he not?
Yeah.
He did die. Yeah, fair. I would have too if I was him.
Mm.
Yeah, it was really interesting because like I'm so glad that we watched it when we did, because it was a bit before the internet really spilled over with just like discourse and like talking about all sorts of different things. Because like the quote that Willem Dafoe says about how if it was in heathen times she would have been seen as a high priestess. That line went over my head. I was like, yeah, I guess so. Like I didn't see it. Like some people were like, that was so impactful. What a quote. But I was just like, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess
Let me
that's
get it
true.
tattooed on me. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Where's
suppose.
Vampire? Give me Vampire Man
Where's
back.
Vampire?
Where is he? Give him back.
But yeah, it was, I personally, I really like how people see different things with, you know, it's very subjective how you take in different parts of that movie,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
I didn't see it as a love story. I saw it as like a bewitching and demons and devils sort of thing, whereas a lot of
Me
people are
too.
like, no, he was in love with her. But like,
It's like,
I
no.
don't think he loved her. He
Because
was,
she originally offered, like, her soul to him
yeah,
by mistake as a child.
yeah.
Because she was just lonely. Like, it wasn't, like, a love thing. It
Yeah,
was
she
just,
like
like,
awakened something evil
yeah.
because of her loneliness, and then it was just kind of like, wait, why have you moved on?
Yeah, like, huh?
Oh.
I wanted to love you.
But it was, so I watched like Bram Stoker's Dracula like 2 weeks before watching Nosferatu, so it was, I really enjoyed watching Nosferatu, you know, with the whole,
Yeah.
knowing all of the backstory with the plagiarism and how it, you know, the director chose to pick different things from Bram Stoker's Dracula to go into Nosferatu. When was the last time you saw Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Oh, I haven't seen it in years.
I really recommend rewatching it, especially with like a Nosferatu in your head, because the film is like kind of pretty accurate to the book. I mean, as much as it can be. Actually, no, that's not 100% true. But it like,
Actually.
you can see bits that it's taken from
Yeah.
the Nosferatu and stuff. But yeah, I've been listening to the Bram Stoker's audiobook, and that was really interesting, like adding that on to the Nosferatu viewing that I had. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's how they're doing this. Because the book Nosferatu, Bram Stoker's Dracula is so romantic. It's so lovely. I don't know, have you read it before?
I've never read it.
It's like told, so it's like from the 1800s, 1800s.
I always forget how like freaking
It's
old
really
it
old.
is.
It's like the late 1800s.
Because I'm like, oh, it's like 1980s. It's not. It's
nah.
like
It's like told
way back.
Books back then, I believe, weren't told in third or first person. So it's told through diary entries. It's told through diary entries and also like newspaper articles. So that's like really interesting. But it is just a really romantic book. There's certain things in Bram Stoker's Dracula's audiobook where I'm like, oh, they didn't kind of do that actually in the film. There's like a really nice relationship between the woman who, oh, I've forgotten her name. It's the woman who's like whimsical and she's like, oh my god, I'm just so whimsical and who am I going to marry to? She's like
such a
seen
woman.
In the movie of Bram Stoker's Dracula, she's seen as like a bit of a hussy and like, oh my god, she's like so problematic. But in the book, because those sort of themes didn't exist back then, it was just, no, she's just a lovely girl that everyone loves and is a sunshine.
Aww.
And I was like, oh, fucking person who directed Bram Stoker's Dracula. Sorry, I can't remember his name.
Why you gotta ruin women? Stop ruining women, men.
Yeah, but like there's like different things. There's like different things with the audiobook that I really enjoyed. I haven't finished it yet though.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick that up because I'm actually really interested in vampire media, especially when it comes to like really old vampire media compared to recent one. Because I don't know, I just feel like it's so much more haunting if it was like, so from the 1800s and like the love story I think would be so much more impactful and just a bit more doused in sweetness rather than today, because I just feel like media with vampires is just, I don't know, when I see a vampire pick up an iPhone, it just makes me want to throw up.
I think that's why the new Nosferatu was just so nice, wasn't it? Because it was just so like haunting and like gothic.
Like, I love gothic media. It is just something that will always just sit right with me. And just having Nosferatu, like the end scene where obviously they're
she, like,
both on one
herself,
another. Yeah. And then there's just like all the flowers. I just cinematically that just was just it was really nice to watch. I left it and I was like, I feel content. I feel happy. I love this.
It was a good movie.
It was. I really enjoyed it. I would give it
Do you know
9 out of 10 coffee beans.
Do you know what quote I really like? When it's like
What?
the guy in the mental asylum and the whole Renford
Eating rats.
Yeah, when he bites into a pigeon and then the doctor's like, "My good fellow, why would you do that?"
Yeah. My God.
My good fellow, why did you do that? A bit weird.
He's like,
yeah. Why are you doing that?
It's like, what do you do that for?
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo. Could have gotten out.
Yeah, the audiobook for Bram Stoker goes like into like that guy, Renfield, and and like, you know, his pursuit to madness, and it's in the perspective of the Doctor, and that's really interesting as well.
That's so fun. Because I really wanted to see more into his character, because it's like, how the hell are you so engrossed with this like Nosferatu, and like how are you here? And how are you actually so normal 1 minute, and then all of a sudden you're moving papers and there's like a symbol of Satan on the floor and you're eating heads off pigeons the next scene? Like, what? How did you act so calm and collected? I don't get it. But yeah, I hopefully, like, if I read it, they get to know more about everyone.
Yeah, I had a proper vampire bug, so I was diving into everything. Weirdly,
I love,
because
like,
I've
vampire media.
Yeah, because I've been diving so much into it, I can barely remember Nosferatu anymore. I'm trying to remember bits, like, yeah, let's go. Someone compared it to Bloodborne, and I was like, no, Bloodborne is Nosferatu.
No.
It's the other way round.
It's the other way. Leave it be. Yeah. I think that's going to be a game that I complete this year's Bloodborne. Just a side little fact.
That would be really so fucking sick. Are you going to stream it?
Yeah. I think I need help.
I need to see it. I need to see it. You heard it here first, gang. You need to bully Phoebe into playing Bloodborne. Gotta get off my shake by. I want to play Elden Ring with you though first. True, yeah.
I want to co-op.
We'll do seamless co-op. That's good.
What time?
I think that's all I have to talk about. Do you have any other stuff to talk about?
No, no, I think that's it, because all the I've been reading was Fourth Wing, and that was
a book.
Pretty mid. Was a book.
She's still obsessed with Love and Deep Space as well, by the way.
Oh my God!
I don't really have that much to talk about to do with it.
Bitch,
I have no energy.
We spoke about it. I know. We've run out of energy. We probably will after Silas's birthday.
Yeah. It's only a month away. For fading to dust. It's so fun, like, how popular this game has gotten. I love it.
Yeah.
Good soup.
Like, I'm glad I got the Silas card from this recent event. If you guys hadn't seen it, it was like, they are all in leather and chains.
Have you watched it yet?
Bitch, I was downloading it.
You gotta watch it tonight.
I fell asleep with my phone on my face.
You gotta watch it tonight.
I woke up and I was like, and then it was like, update, and I'm like, let me watch it. I have to re-download it again.
I need to watch the Caleb one. I've watched My Main Boy, and then I've watched...
I got Xavier.
Yeah. Oh, I need to watch Xavier's as well, yeah.
But they're like 20 minutes long. They like gave us good content.
I might watch them tonight.
Yeah. Oh, the sea event's out. What?
That's what I said. I said earlier. It's his birthday event. So you can make his cake. No, it's till the 6th, I think. Yeah. He's not my boy. I do not claim Raphael.
To be fair, he's not mine either. I don't know why he said look at my boy.
I feel like he could be yours in another life. He's like nearly your kind of guy.
He's so
little
close,
Twinkie boy.
But he just doesn't quite hit the mark. I think he's too much of a bottom for my liking.
I forgot to say, I watched Jiu-Jitsu. This is completely nothing to do with anything because I was just thinking of his voice actor. I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen dubbed when I was doing my hair the other day, and you know Jogo, the volcano man? Yeah. His dub voice sounds exactly like Dr. Robotnik's granddad. A woman in the military! His
like, oh my God,
English
it's so
dub
shocking.
sounds just like that. I know,
That's
grandson. A woman in the military.
Woman in the military. Sonic, where are you? I haven't trauma dumping on you yet.
That's all I've got on that.
That's all I've got.
That's all
I'm finished.
I'm finished. Phoebe, we did it.
We did it. We did an episode.
We did. I'm so happy. Because I'm so tired and I need to pee so bad.
I know, me too. I've got chocolate.
If anyone paused the podcast at any point to go to the toilet, just know that I was jealous of you.
Jealous
while
of
you did it.
I'm sorry about my camera shaking. I realised my camera's shaking a lot.
Because you're so scared.
Oh, I'm so scared.
She's so nervous. She's just like me.
I'm just like you.
She's just like me. Did yours have a pattern on it?
No, mine's boring and
Homeless.
plain.
Homeless behaviour.
Homewrecker.
Homewrecker. Mine has stars on it. See that? The moon. Stars. Mine's got Nemesis on it.
When I've got the moon, pull down pants. Shows ass.
Blue moon.
Blue moon.
All right. Should we leave now?
Yeah.
Because we're going to be here all day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good time. Have a good time, whatever that means. We are on, I think we're on Blue Sky, we're on Twitter. Obviously, you probably just listen to this on YouTube because we can't afford to put it on Spotify anymore. I can't be bothered to anyway.
Much.
Yeah, too much.
It's too much.
Yeah, thank you so much, anyone who made it this far into the video. If you did, leave a YouTube comment with the, what emoji should they put, Phoebe?
A bat emoji.
A bat emoji, beautiful, yeah. If
Put
you
your bat emojis
and then we'll know that you made it
there.
to the very end. Secrets.
And then we'll give you a nice little kiss.
Phoebe
on the
will.
forehead.
I won't.
Yeah, she's taken. I'm not. I get to be a whore. Should the thumbnail just be?
Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
All right.
Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Bye.